everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. I want to share with you the section about the artist date from the Artist Way book by Julia Cameron. So I left off talking about morning pages in the last one, so I have been doing those. I do want to switch that up and do it a little bit more consistently because I've missed quite a bit in December. But I'm still doing even a little bit, even if it's a paragraph a day. But I'm hoping to get a little more focused on that like I was in the beginning. So I'm going to read a little bit from this book about the Artist Day and kind of give you kind of what it's supposed to be about once we get into the weeks, the 12-week course. So here she says, the other basic tool of the Artist's Way may strike you as a non-tool, a diversion. You may see clearly how morning pages could work, yet find yourself highly dubious about something called an artist date. I assure you, artist dates work too. Think of this combination of tools in terms of a radio receiver and a transmitter. It is a two-step, two-directional process, out and then in. Doing your morning pages, you are sending, notifying yourself and the universe of your dreams, dissatisfactions, hopes. Doing your artist date, you are receiving. Open yourself to insight, inspiration, and guidance. But what exactly is an artist date? An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly, especially set aside and committed to nurturing your creative consciousness, your inner artist. In its most primary form, the artist date is an excursion, a play date that you pre-plan and defend against all interlopers. You do not take anyone on this artist date, but you and your inner artist, aka your creative child. That means no lovers, friends, spouses, children, no taggers on of any stripe. If you think this sounds stupid or that you will never be able to afford the time, identify that reaction as resistance. You cannot afford not to find time for artist dates. And I think about this and I'm like I said in the last video and in prior videos when I've talked about mentioning doing this book and you know, thinking about the artist date, how anxious it makes me feel because I'm supposed to do this on my own, a couple hours on my own. You know, one thing that was very interesting that my husband said one day, I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. I think it was, we were talking to his mom, I think, or something. But anyway, he said something like that I don't take time for myself, that I'm always with somebody else, almost always. Like now, yes, I'm alone doing a video, but I'm doing something in a very short period of time that I'm trying to get done to put on my channel. But not doing something just for fun. I mean, I do have fun doing these things, but like I don't have much time on my own. I don't do things for myself. And I think about this, I'm like, how am I going to do this alone? I really don't want to do this alone. Like it's going to be really hard. But I think through trying it out and maybe doing it in places where I'm not necessarily completely alone, like maybe going on a little walk out in this area where we live, not too far from home, but just kind of doing something like that to start off with. And then hopefully through therapy, I can learn some coping mechanisms or I don't know if I would call them coping mechanisms, but something to help me to be able to do this. Excuse me. So she has a bunch of like interesting things here saying, do you spend quality time with each other? Troubled couples are often asked by their therapist. Parents of disturbed children are asked the same thing. Well, what do you mean quality time? Is the most usual Weasley response. We spend a lot of time together. Yes, but is it quality time? Do you ever have any fun together? The therapist may press. Fun? Who ever heard of having fun in a rotten relationship like this one? Do you go on dates, just talk, just listen to each other? Dates? But we're married, too busy, too broke, too scared, the therapist may interrupt. Hey, don't sugarcoat it. It is frightening to spend quality time with a child or lover, and our artist can be seen as both to us. A weekly artist date is remarkably threatening and remarkably productive. A date with my artist? Yes, your artist needs to be taken out, pampered, and listened to. There are as many ways to evade this commitment as there are days of your life. I'm too broke is a favored one, although no one said the date need involve elaborate expenses. Your artist is a child. Time with a parent matters more than money spent. A visit to a great junk store, a solo trip to the beach, an old movie seen alone together, a visit to an aquarium or an art gallery. These cost time, not money. Remember, it is a time commitment that is sacred. So, it's interesting to think of those things, because some of the things I thought of is like, what kinds of things do I enjoy? I like being out. I've always liked being out in nature, like doing things like that. And I thought, I could take a book or take something and go sit by the river, or, just to sit there and enjoy time. Whew. Excuse me. Jeez, I cannot seem to get rid of the yawns. It's either yawning or hiccups or something's always going on. So here she says, spending time in solitude with your artist child is essential to self-nurturing. A long country walk, a solitary expedition to the beach for a sunrise or sunset, a sortie out to a strange church to hear gospel music, to an ethnic neighborhood to taste foreign sights and sounds. Your artist might enjoy any of these, or your artist might like bowling. So here we're supposed to commit ourselves to a weekly artist date, and then watch your killjoy side try to wriggle out of it. Watch how the sacred time gets easily encroached upon. Watch how the sacred time suddenly includes a third party. Learn to guard against these invasions. I've already come up with all these plans. Oh, how do I do it so I can have my husband with me? Or how can I do it to have somebody with me? And I kept thinking, well, what if I have them with me but not with me? That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. So if I go to, because I could go somewhere here probably, but I have a really hard time going by myself. So I'm thinking to get started, maybe I can take my husband with me, but we can, like we go up to the river. Well, you can sit over here and I can sit over there. We're just not in each other's spaces. We're both doing our own thing, but he's close enough. Excuse me, this might be the problem with this sparkling water. But I don't know. It's really hard for me, and I can hear all these excuses. I'm saying them to myself all the time, and it's really hard hearing the other end, come and say, no, you need to do this, and no excuses, just do it. Above all, learn to listen to what your artist child has to say, and about these Above all, learn to listen to what your artist child has to say on and about these joint expeditions. For example, oh, I hate this serious stuff. Your artist may exclaim if you persist in taking it only to grown-up places that are culturally edifying and good for it. Listen to that. It is telling you your art needs more playful inflow. A little fun can go a long way toward making your work feel more like play. We forget that the imagination at play is at the heart of all good work, and increasing your capacity for good creative work is what this book is about. That's where I do more serious things. Going to have fun playing. Like, I used to like to go to the park and get on the swing. But now I'm like, I don't like it just seems like, oh, that's just a waste of time. It's, but that could be another artist date. And this is just about getting acquainted with yourself, right? So like it says here, the morning pages acquaint us with what we think and what we think we need. We identify problem areas and concerns. We complain, enumerate, identify, isolate, fret. This is step 1. Analogous to prayer. In the course of the release engendered by our artist date, step 2, we begin to hear solutions. Perhaps equally important, we begin to fund the creative... Oh, sorry. My alarm went off. Okay. Okay, so we begin to fund the creative reserves we will draw on in fulfilling our artistry. So, I'm thinking, okay, so I've done the morning pages for a while now. I've really enjoyed them. I was doing what I considered maybe like an artist date type of thing when I was doing watercolors. But then I just stopped because I was like, this is childish. What am I going to use this for? This is just, I'm not good at this. It's just for fun. Right? I kept trying to say it's just for fun, so keep doing it. But it was, then that other part of me is like, oh, this is a waste of time. Find something else to do, something more productive, something, serious. So this is really going to be a learning experience for me to learn how to take the time to be with myself and do something fun. As artists, we must learn to be self-nourishing. We must become alert enough to consciously replenish our creative resources as we draw on them, to restock the trout pond, so to speak. I call this process filling the well. So filling the well involves the active pursuit of images to refresh our artistic reservoirs. Art is born in attention. Its midwife is detail. Art may spring. Sorry. Art may spring. I'm really having a hard time. Another blooper. Art may seem to spring from pain, but perhaps that is because pain serves to focus our attention onto details. For instance, the excruciatingly beautiful curve of a lost lover's neck. Art may seem to involve broad strokes, grand schemes, great plans, but it is the attention to detail that stays with us. The singular image is what haunts us and becomes art. Even in the midst of pain, the singular image brings delight. The artist who tells you different is lying. And I think of that like in a situation for me with chronic illness. There's still beauty in life. There's still beauty in everything that's going on. There's still beauty in how the Lord has worked my life out up to this point, even with chronic illness, even with chronic pain and chronic headaches and all the things, right? He's still working it together for good. The ability that I have to sit here and talk to a camera or to my phone and share this with whoever wants to watch it. And maybe it'll bless someone. That is something that is beautiful in that, he's given me that time to do it. I probably wouldn't have done this otherwise. When I was working, that's what I was doing, always working. There was only a time that I remember now that it just hit me. Me and my friend Margie were talking about this, and so one of the days that she was driving out to her Santa Fe, she passed by the road I used to take to where I used to live. Years. It's been quite some time, maybe like 15-ish years ago, maybe, or something like that. Me and my husband lived out in a small town about 30 minutes away from our hometown, or my hometown, where we were working and stuff at the time. And in the morning, I would meet Margie for coffee and a donut at our favorite place, Daylight Donuts in Vegas. And I would leave my house about 5:30 in the morning. 6 was the latest, so I could get there so we'd have enough time before we both had to leave at 7:30 to get to work. And, it was a 30-minute drive, and I did this for quite a while. And I did it because I needed that time. I need that time before work to just kind of relax. You're busy, getting ready, you're fast, you gotta hurry up. And then that drive helped to kind of, calm me down a bit with music. I still love to play music. I still do love to play music loud when I'm there and I'm singing away. And then I get to Daylight. We sit down and have a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee and a donut. Maple old fashioned is my favorite. I think hers is a glazed old fashioned. And we sit there and, pray. We talk about scripture, whatever we were reading, about our lives, prayer requests that we had for ourselves or for other people. And it was so wonderful. It even though I know the artist date says about going alone, that's something that I need to do alone, maybe. I mean, and with others. I'd love to go and have that again with Margie, but soon, hopefully. But I think I can, find myself a little place where I can go and have a cup of coffee that's close by me now and take my book with me and read, or write out prayers, like, with this book that I have here, Praying in Color. I can set up some pages or things that could go on my wall, to have a prayer wall, because I can't have a prayer closet in here. I don't have a closet or something small, it's a one room. But, something that I can do to enrich my prayer life and to pray for others and to have that communication with the Lord. So that would be fun to do. Do you guys go on stuff like this by yourselves anywhere? Coffee shops, things like that? Like, the only places I've kind of gone alone is to the library, the bookstore, sometimes a small bookstore in Santa Fe, and to the thrift store. And those are my fun spots. So maybe I'll throw in some of those and find some fun, like, childlike things, to maybe get my inner child, I don't know, happy, joyful, I don't know. But so these are all kind of these wonderful things about doing these little artist dates and all of this, because they're time that we need to spend, and I know I need some time alone. I need to sit with myself. I need to learn how to do that, because I don't know how. It's kind of like taking time to learn who I am. I have a really hard time with that. I've always had a hard time with knowing what I really truly love, truly like to do. Besides reading and writing, it was really hard for me to find things that I liked that were fun or whatever, because it was like I was always doing either work or doing things that other people liked, because that's just who I was and who I am sometimes still. So, it's just about finding places and finding things where we can get our creative juices flowing, right? So, the last paragraph, the last paragraph right before she talks about the contract here, it says, our focused attention is critical to filling the well. We need to encounter our life experiences and not ignore them. Many of us read compulsively to screen our awareness. Many of us read. Okay. On a crowded, interesting train, we train our attention on a newspaper, losing the sights and sounds around us. All images for the well. I do that. I take a book with me everywhere, because I have a real hard time being in crowds of people. Partly because it's just like, I don't know, it's like the energy. I just feel it's too much. So like if I go like sit in a waiting room in the doctor's office, I take a book, or I stick my headphones in and I'm reading or writing in my journal, and I don't talk to anybody. I don't interact with anybody. Everyone around me is interacting with each other a lot. Well, quite a few of them. There's been times that people I know are sitting there and I'm like, hi, how are you? And then I just kind of go into my own little world and I just ignore everything going on around me, and I'm missing things probably, something that could get my writer flowing, because I do want to finish a story that I started years ago, and I would love to write a book, something like that. So maybe one of these days. So then here's the contract. So it says, I, and you put in your name, understand that I am undertaking an intensive guided encounter with my own creativity. I commit myself to the 12-week duration of the course. I commit to weekly reading, daily morning pages, a weekly artist date, and the fulfillment of each week's tasks. I further understand that this course will raise issues and emotions for me to deal with. I commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of the course. And then you sign it and you date it. So it looks like this, and I'll try to get a picture of this up, but you guys can see that. So let me go ahead and read the rest of this. Artist block is a very literal expression. Blocks must be acknowledged and dislodged. Filling the well is the surest way to do this. Art is the imagination at play in the field of time. Let yourself play. When I'm teaching the artist way, I require students to make a contract with themselves, committing to the work of the course. Can you give yourself that gift? Say yes by means of some small ceremony. Buy a nice notebook for your pages. Hire your babysitter ahead of time for the weekly artist dates. Read the contract on the preceding page. Amend it if you like, then sign and date it. Come back to it when you need encouragement to go on. And here's a quote that she has here. Inside you, there's an artist you don't know about. Say yes quickly if you know, if you've known it from before the beginning of the universe. Jalaluddin Rumi. Here's another quote that, let's see. Nobody sees a flower. Really, it is so small it takes time. We haven't time, and to see takes time. Like to have a friend takes time. Georgia O'Keeffe. And here's one by Oscar Wilde. The true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible. And I think about like just the things that we miss because we're so busy with being busy, so busy just with whatever. And, part of the issue of not feeling well, and was my light, and having chronic illness, it makes it really hard to do some of these things, right? Because you want to make sure you're feeling good. It's hard when you're not feeling well. You don't know if you're going to be able to do this on this day. Those are all my things. Like, what if I say I'm going to go on an artist day on this day and then I can't do it? So reschedule it. It's like I think about it, like I can reschedule that. Or I can change it up a bit. If I'm not feeling well enough to leave the house and get out and do something, that I can do something here that would give me time alone for a certain, this block of time doing something fun, something creative, something childlike, something, like the painting, things like that. So that's going to be one of my focus things for the year 2025. So I don't know when I'll be posting this, so it may be already after the 1st. So if it is, Happy New Year. Because by the time I get these videos edited and everything and put together, who knows? But after this one's posted, this should be posted. I may try to get this posted tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Because I was doing them on Tuesdays. Because I have a video that I just did that's kind of going into next year. So I might just try to post that this afternoon. Hopefully I can get those out to you guys. And that way, by the following Tuesday, I will be in week 1. And that is called Recovering a Sense of Safety. So this one has, where I'll be starting different tasks. They have creative affirmations. There's like 10 tasks in here to do. So there's a weekly check-in. So I will probably go through this and kind of give you an overview of what I'm reading in the chapter on one Tuesday, because they are weekly. So it's going to be a little interesting on how I get this to you guys as far as when I've done the task. So I may have to do like 2 videos on 1 week, or 2 videos that include the 1 week, or kind of put them together or something. But I'll figure that out later. But I hope that you guys will enjoy the coming videos in this series of The Artist Way. And if you guys have this book, if you'd like to join me in reading through this, and share in the comments what types of artist date that you would like to go on, or if you've done something like this before, give me some ideas of artist dates and things that help get the creative juices flowing, things that self-care ideas, things like that would be worth trying out. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you. Bye.